Okay, not much to say today on robotics, but I thought I would just talk a little bit about what I've been, my little side project that also has to do with sensors and screens and whatnot. And I've been working on building a scale for a guy who has beehives, and it's pretty reasonably a well run path that people are using these load sensors and hooking them to this 24-bit analog to digital converter, which is super resolution to get a signal into some sort of microcontroller. So this is the high level of the wiring diagram. What mine is looking like at the moment is a 2x2 sheet of melamine MDF board. It's like the um, white shelving, but this is like 3/4 inches thick. You can't see it, so it's going to provide a stable platform, and then the top would also be another repeat of a 2x2 MDF sheet. Sitting here on the side is just my hack of putting an ESP32 along with the HX11 and the LCD. I happen to be trying, and this is sort of a connection with robotics. I happen to be trying this inexpensive LCD. Interestingly enough, in this particular configuration, they also put a SD card on the back of it, um, that you could feed into or draw from, the ESP32. Now, me personally, I had not used this style of an LCD before. I had used the whatever 6 lines by 128 character LCD or 4 lines. Jeff has got one he can hold up a little bit, and those are pretty straightforward to use. This is a bit more complicated, and if you want to try to have fancy graphics, we spent a lot of time designing that user interface. But so at the moment, I've got my load sensors laid out, wired up. Probably make this cable maybe a 6-foot cable, which would then clip into this 2510 connector. Um, and then I've soldered a breadboard to sort of get these things physically talking to each other, um, and run some test programs. And sort of the next step would be, these things vary a little bit. You've got to calibrate them to the weight range that you're weighing. So if you put 10 pounds on this, you're going to get one reading, and you would use one calibration setting. If you put 100 grams on it, you're going to have to use a different calibration setting. So figuring out that curve, because I'd like to make this a little bit more useful than just, 100-pound beehive. Put multiple weights on there and get multiple settings for calibration, and use the calibration for the weight that's closest to the settings that I've captured. So that's sort of the next step. One thing I wanted to show you is in my GIST, I've got a couple of sample programs just to show that this thing works. It's a little bit fuzzy, but hopefully you can make out it's a compass with some needles in the middle of it. And the guy that did the YouTube video on that was using a different LCD screen. So there's some configuration changes you have to make. But to get that to work in this 1.28 inch LCD. But this picture was taken with the display out in the sun because I wanted to see, hey, can I see this thing when there's sunshine? And you can tell that I haven't centered the display and I haven't made it the full 1.28, but you can pretty much make out what's there. Now, you wouldn't want anything that would be the equivalent of 8-point font to be able to see that, but I think if what you were looking for, you could fill up the display, you'd definitely be able to see it in the sun. So that's the little bit of a connection to robotics. Now, in programming these, you'll come across the term, well, this happens to be a GC9A01 driver, or it takes that driver. And not all of them are going to do that, but you'll come across this term about a sprite. And I don't know where that term originated, but effectively on these, you write a bitmap to RAM, and then once you've got the RAM filled to the way that you want it, you load the whole RAM to the LCD. And that's, well, I mean, it takes some thinking about how you want to do that. So in this particular case, you use commands like create a sprite, and this happens to be for the needle that's in the middle of it. So the needle has got a lot of different settings, like the width, the height, the diameter, and some of these you get a unique command where you can draw lines, or what it calls a wedge, and then you put a little circle in the middle of that. And what I mean by that is, so this drawing this needle, besides the obvious of having an angle associated with that, you're drawing this red wedge, you're drawing this blue wedge, and you're putting a circle in the middle of it because visually that's better, because otherwise if you do the red one first and then drew the blue one, the blue would fill up the middle and it doesn't look very good. So anyway, it's just a little bit, trying to get back to my gist. Why am I not getting there? Come on. Can I move this? Move this whole thing. Okay. Back to there, finally. Oh my gosh, that was hard. So anyway, you draw your graphics on this thing, and then the command is push the sprite, and you take everything that's in RAM and you push it to the screen. So just as a little bit different way of programming that takes a little bit of time to get your head around. So anyway, I think it would work outside as long as it wasn't too small. And but there's a bit of a learning curve on programming the LCD. That's the main gist of that story. That's it. Oh, and this is a Miro board that I have, is what I've been displaying this stuff on. Any thoughts or questions on that?
First question, you say it's on a Miro board. Is this on you just have one Miro board, or you have multiple ones?
On the free version, you can have 3. So I have my lawn tractor, the beehive, and then a backup of my lawn tractor. So it's a separate one.
I just think is every time I post the link that says this is Al's Miro board, I didn't know if that link would get you back to what this is, or this has to be a
Mm,
separate one.
has to be a separate one. You're going to have the link if you're interested.
Do you want that posted? If so, just stick it in the chat and then I can stick that on there.
Yeah, I'll see. Oh, there's the share button. Yes, I'll post it. You can click on that and see if you can get to it.
Just thinking about it.
I mean, I'm thankful to Bob for introducing me to that board. It's really, um, I like it for sort of capturing notes and diagrams and texts and having it be publicly available.
Yeah, that link does work, so I can go ahead and put that on the description then when we're done here. I was gonna make the comment that yes, now that you're using headphones, your audio sounds much better, and I haven't any problems with the any echo or anything going on.
Okay, just for you. I'm glad it doesn't. These are borrowed from, well, they were mine, but my son had absconded with them and had to ask for them back. So I'm glad they still work.
Oh, when you're done sharing, then I'll just hold this display up. So this is that you were saying I had that display. This is the one that's 4 lines by 20 characters, and it's just a standard, somebody's standard display. And then a company has made this little thing that's soldered on the back, so it gives you 4 I²C pins come off here. You got power and ground and your 2 I²C, and it turns out they make these in. Oh, I see my background's acting goofy again. Anyway, you can get this one that's 4 lines by 20 characters, or you can get another one that works the same way, but it's 2 lines by 16 characters. I think the character is a little bit bigger, and just the whole thing is a little bit shorter and a little bit narrower, I think. And if you look on Amazon, you can find both types on there. And this particular one came from SainSmart, SAINSMART, and their part number was LCD 2004. But if you get it on Amazon, it'll be from some other just random Chinese knockoff. But if you put in LCD 2004, I think this board will show up, and then it'll show you the other 16 character ones, or the 2 line 16 character ones. So if anybody's interested in that, and just by looking at the pictures, it looks like I've never hooked it up and tried it, but it looks like it's the type of thing where it's got a backlight, and then it's got like a blue, I think it's a blue background, and then the characters would be white when they show up on here. And I suppose I could pull up Amazon real quick here and find one. So let's see, share screen, screen 1. Okay, so that is showing up. If I go here and say, so for instance, here's a picture of one. And usually they look a little bit fuzzy, but it looks like, this is what I have. So I should just hook it up and try it, but it looks like, that looks like it's completely readable just from, if you just want to put up things like your LCD or your GPS latitude and longitude, and you can put anything on there you want, because it's just uncommitted. And here's the little board that that's soldered on the back of it. And when you get them, these are already soldered on, so you just have to hook up your 4 pins there to make it work. So you just download a library from somebody. It's an Arduino library that says, here's how you talk to these boards. And they say that same library is compatible with both the 2-line 16 character and the 4-line 20 character displays. So that might be a handy thing. If you just need a way to put stuff up to see what's going on, that's a handy way to go about doing that. And as I should go try it. So here's let's see what's the price on these things. And if you look, see it says this one is about $12, but then you get other ones that are like 3 for 15, or just the typical stuff you find on Amazon. You can also, here's one 3 for $16. And then you can also get it in this one that's got the yellow background with black text. And I don't recall if this has backlight. You'd have to look through. And these might work out in sunlight. If it doesn't have a backlight, it might work out in sunlight. It's you'd have to dig through here to see what it has. But anyway, that's another option if you prefer that kind of display. And I don't know if that's any more sharper than the other one, but so that stuff's available if you. And really the only difference is it's just the color of the LCD. You can see the rest of it. The board looks exactly the same. Otherwise, it's just simply that it's got yellow background and the black text on it. And then let me back up and say, as I see, if you just scroll down, they should show me the other ones, the smaller ones. And the other option is you can just get just a regular LCD display and hook up, either do a 4-bit interface or an 8-bit interface. But that's just hooking up a lot of extra wires. And these seem nice because you don't have to do all that. So
Scroll up. It was a little bit red. It had a potentiometer on it. I'm just going to make a comment.
on,
Or maybe down. Scroll down.
I went quite a ways here. So
There you went.
that
There's the
board.
one. I don't. If you open that up, I don't know that it's the exact same board, but on my Prusa 3D printer, they have a similar setup, and the potentiometer, if you want to get from screen 1 to screen 2, then you scroll through it with potentiometer. And if you want to select something on the menu, the potentiometer is a push button potentiometer. So programmatically, there's a lot going on, but it's a way to get a whole lot more functionality out of a screen like that when you integrate a potentiometer with it.
And it's possible that that's actually not a potentiometer. It's like a rotary encoder, but I guess it doesn't really matter what it is as long as it works. And yeah, if you do some digging, you can find, probably make this is like a complete panel to do things, and you can probably find other ones. How do I get this stuff back? So it looks like, yeah, this has a display and some kind of an input type. It's even got a beeper on it, looks like. So it's got a push button and then that knob. And it could be if you push on the knob, it's a switch also. So yeah, if you dig through, you might be able to find, much more elaborate displays for these things. But I was gonna go try to find so it's probably gonna be 1602. So here's the ones that are, here's the one that's got the same built-in, it's got the same built-in little board on it. And see, it just shows up. Here's let's get a better screen. So there's what the 2 lines looks like. So you can go either way. And again, you can buy here's 1 for 11, or I just saw there was like 3 for 12. So for $1 more, you get 3 instead of 1. So that's just something to keep in mind if you just need a quick display to put on there, and it's fairly easy to talk to it. So, and I assume that library works on, whether it's a original Arduino or one of the, like a Teensy or the ESP32s. It probably works on any of those. But again, I haven't tried them yet to find out. And then some of these don't have, like this one maybe. No, this has the built-in controller too. So yeah, see, it's got the little built-in controller on it. So it's just a matter of deciding what you want. And I just want to point out they are available. So So that should, oh, I was confused because I saw you moving your cursor around on the screen. I say we're not displaying that screen. It's what we are now because I'm sharing my screen. That's kind of handy on that Miro board if nobody's played with it. That since Al is doing stuff, you can watch his that little thing right in the middle says Al Jones and has a little cursor. As he moves his mouse around, you'll see him actually working on the thing. Move your mouse once so we can see that.
Oh, I'm moving it on the Zoom screen. I'm like, why isn't it doing anything?
Yeah, you can move it on your Miro screen.
Let me get back to my Miro screen.
There it goes. So as he moves around, or if he pops something new on the screen, you can watch it in real time as he's doing stuff there. And I think if I were on Miro, let's see, how does that work? Because you can go to Miro and if I start moving stuff around, I don't think he will see that. But if I log in to it, then you can watch each other doing stuff, and it's handy at times, and other times it's just annoying watching this stuff move all over the place. So anyway, I saw that there. I was confused because I saw that, and I realized, well, it's actually because I'm sharing my screen, so I'll stop sharing here. Okay, so now we're back to where we were, and I guess I don't really have anything else to say. So make sure I save that chat. Okay. Anything else?
I'm looking at Zoom and it has a sign in thing. I thought I already signed in. Why is it asking me to? Huh?
On Zoom or on Miro or something else?
Zoom. It's up in the top right corner of
Hmm.
my Zoom screen. I don't know.
It's just this modern software. You never know what it's doing. So,
I'll say.
well, I do have a button that says sign in, which, yeah, I don't know why it says that, but
So you have it too.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I was referring to.
And maybe it does something great we don't understand, but I've just ignored it, I guess. Right next to it, I got a little timer that says how long the meeting's been running, but
Really?
yeah, you might have to be the host to get that, or maybe you can just turn it on.
Oh, there's a show meeting timers thing.
Yeah, so that's probably what that is. Anyway,
Interesting. Timer app is on there as well. Oh, you're still recording, aren't you? You can turn recording on.